The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I'll tell you a story that I regret that I didn't bring my prop with me. I normally, when I say this, but I thought about it just in the car, I guess, that years ago, in the early years of Lander, must be going back around 19 years ago. So I had a Talmud that came. He was a very nice boy. He was a Baal Tshuva. And when he came to yeshiva, he didn't know which side of the Gemara was Rashi and which side of the Gemara was Taisus. That's how elementary his knowledge of learning was. But he was a wonderful boy, and he came to everything. If I gave a chabura after davening, he was there. And if I gave a daf yomi, he was there. And if there was a shir klala, he was there. And Avad, he was there. And Shmuz, he was Shabbos, Yantav, he was always there. And he was always sitting front row center. And he was lapping up knowledge. He couldn't get enough knowledge. He just wanted to grow. And he was an amazing, amazing young man. And then he got married. Canada, I flew up to the Chasna, beautiful Chasna. And then he went off to Eretz Yisrael, and then I didn't hear from him for quite a while, for many years. He joined a kollel in Yerushalayim somewhere, and that's really the last I heard of him. And then, like a few years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, I get a package in the mail, and it has his name on it, but now it's not his old name; it's a new name, his first name, and it's from Yerushalayim, and there's a sefer in it. And I said, well, it's so nice. I opened it up, and there's a nice chashuv sefer on Isser V'Heter, and it has beautiful askamas, and I thought, it's so nice. He sent me a sefer. It's such a beautiful gift. That's such a sweet gesture, and so he inscribed it. And then I looked in the Sharblat, and I see that he was the author of this sefer. And it has haskamas from the Gedolei Eretz Yisrael, the Gedolei Yerushalayim. They were speaking about Harav HaGoyim. It's a guy that within maybe 10 years, not more than 10, 11 years, he went from somebody that didn't know the difference between Rashi and Taisus to somebody that's getting haskamas from the Ga'anei Yerushalayim, and he's putting out a sefer this thick. And I like bringing it just to show people you think I'm making it up. Never ever count out anybody, because it's dafka the people that are the most challenged and the people that are least likely to succeed in our minds, that they suddenly, they grow into these tremendous people. And it's frightening because you see how off you were about them, how you misjudged them. And one of the great people that I was fortunate to know is Rav Meir Zlotowitz, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who was responsible, as you know, for Art Scroll, the entire Art Scroll revolution. And you can't go into any base medrash without having a Shas Favorably and Yerushalmi and the blue Shas and the red Shas and and every Art Scroll book that was ever published. It's just one man's. So you think he's probably a big Talmud Chacham, and he probably was very popular, and he was very popular. When I knew him, he was the king of the world. He had Schottensteins. He had every Gevir is throwing money at him, running after him to sponsor Svarim, and tremendous. But if you read his biography, there was a biography written about him a few years ago, and it's must read if you have after camp is over, you have a little time ben Zmanim. It's very kedai. It's called Rav Meir Zlotowitz, and he was overweight when he was a child. He had a terrible, terrible stutter. He wasn't good at sports. He was literally one of these kids that, you look at and you say, Nebuch, what's going to be with him? What's going to happen to him? And later in life, he was divorced from his wife, or whatever that was written about in the book. I'm not trying to be Megala any say this. Everything was written beautifully about in the book. And he was struggling. He was a single dad. He was raising his 3 children, came out, I think, by himself, and he wanted to speak to his Rebbe, Moshe Feinstein, and he went to visit Moshe. He had to cry to him about how difficult his plight was, and Moshe had a very important Din Torah going on. He couldn't come, and then the next day was a very big snowstorm, and he was stuck in the house the whole day, watching the kids, being a babysitter, and he had to do his work, and the business was falling apart, his family life was falling apart, everything was falling apart. And there was a knock on the door at night, and again, it was a snowstorm. Nobody was walking around the streets of New York. And he opened the door, and there was standing Moshe Feinstein. He had walked how many miles, I don't know, to get to his house. And he came in and he put each of the kids to bed. He lifted them up. He got them into pajamas or something. He put them into bed. He said Kriya Shema Lamita with them, and then he sat down with Meir Zlotowitz in the living room and said, "Now talk to me." And Meir was like just pouring out his heart to him, and the story could have ended there, and we never would have heard about him. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him tremendous kaiches hanefesh, and he was able to build this yeshiva without walls that has influenced and inspired millions of people around. I think it single-handedly probably revitalized Daf Yomi. In America, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, I don't remember any Daf Yomi shiurim. I don't remember. I just don't. Maybe they existed in the 5 towns or whatever. I grew up in Long Beach. I don't remember. I don't think there was a Daf. I'm almost positive that there was never a Daf Yomi. In Gemara, like if there was like one day a week that the rabbi gave a Talmud class, that was a chiddush. Remember, there was 2 balabatim that used to learn, I think, Mishnayos together after davening, and that was like wow. And they're big Talmidei Chacham. Like I had no. And then, but with Art Scroll, suddenly, it opened up the world of Torah to so many people. My point is that sometimes you have these people that you don't understand how much potential lies within, but if you just, immediately look at them and size them up and already categorize them, put them in a box and say, okay, they are not successful, and these are the people I want to hitch my wagon to, and not those people, then more often than not, you'll be wrong. Because more often than not, there's so much good that's found in so many people, and specifically the people that are suffering and that have so many sorrows and challenges, if you're able to unlock them, and you're able to help them a little bit, and put your arm around them, and take a walk with them, and just mobilize them, and allow them to do their tafkid in life, then just watch out, and you'll see tremendous yeshuas coming from them.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org